Good morning, my name is Kyla Richards and welcome back to BSU News. Today's segment is special in which we are going to be talking about the phenomenon of sudden infant death syndrome with a special guest today. Now welcoming epidemiologist Sam. Thank you for joining us today. I know you've done some work with SIDS, so would you like to explain what SIDS is?
Yes, of course. SIDS, or Sudden Infant Death Syndrome, was first proposed as a medical term in 1969 to describe unexpected deaths of infants 12 months and under, which remains unexplained even after various autopsies, thorough investigations of the crime scene, and the infant's medical history.
Thank you for explaining what SIDS is. So now that there's a definition, what are some of the recent statistics that you've found? Are there certain demographics that are more susceptible and vulnerable to SIDS, or is every infant equally likely to be at risk for SIDS?
As of 2022, SIDS accounted for about 38.4 deaths for every 100,000 live births, which is about 1,389 deaths within that year. About 90% of SIDS deaths happen before the infant reaches 6 months, though the peak incidence rate is between 1 and 4 months of age. African American infants are 2 to 3 times more likely to die from SIDS compared to white or non-Hispanic infants.
So this is a graph of the incidence rate from 1980 to 2020 of SIDS deaths, and this is per 100,000 live births. So in 1980, this is when SIDS was really unknown and nothing was being done to prevent SIDS, and there was 153 deaths per 100,000 live births. And then as you can see, as we get closer to 2020, the rate of deaths has decreased drastically, and at 2020 there's 38 deaths per 100,000 live births. So that means there are preventative measures that have been taken, and people are getting more knowledge on what SIDS is and what to look for. Now that we know the definition of SIDS and what it is, and the statistics behind SIDS, what is the etiology behind it? Would you say that there are certain risk factors that people should be on the lookout for, or happens?
The exact causes of SIDS remains unknown, but it's believed to be multifactorial. One well-known explanation is a triple risk model, which suggests SIDS occurs when 3 factors overlap. A critical period of development, which could be 0 to 12 months, like the first 12 months, the infant's underlying vulnerabilities and external stressors, such as sleep positions or exposure to smoke. For example, if a mother smokes a pack a day, the infant's risk of SIDS, it triples. Also, thermal stress like overwrapping the baby can increase the risk. Socioeconomic factors play a role too. Mothers with less than a high school education are more likely to place their infants in a risky sleep position.
After everything we've heard so far, it's kind of alarming that there haven't actually been any causes found, and that there's so many risk factors. It makes it seem like anything could cause SIDS. Is there anything being done currently or has been done in the past to help prevent SIDS?
Public health efforts continue to focus on education, research, and awareness. One key direction is ensuring that all caregivers, not just parents, understand safe sleep practices. In fact, 1 in 5 SIDS deaths occur while an infant is in the care of someone other than their parent. That's why it is very crucial that babysitters, grandparents, siblings, and daycare workers are also educated about risk education strategies. We're also seeing more support for national initiatives and expert groups like Red Nose in Australia, which focus on health promotion, bereavement support, and research into infant deaths. Continued advocacy, especially in high-risk communities and ongoing studies into genetic and neurological factors, are helping shape future prevention strategies to reduce the risk of SIDS. Always place your baby on their back in a crib with a firm mattress without loose items like toys or blankets. Avoid overheating, smoke exposure, and co-sleeping. Promote exclusive breastfeeding when possible. Remember, safe sleep saves lives.
And there you have it, folks. With epidemiologist Sam, she explained what SIDS is, some of the causes and risk factors of it, and ways to prevent and the future direction of epidemiologists and the public to help prevent SIDS.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for joining us, and we will see you next week on BSU News. Good afternoon. Welcome back to BSU News with Kyla Richards. Earlier in the week, we had talked with epidemiologist Sam about SIDS. She talked about what SIDS was, some of the risk factors along with statistics, and how some of the future plans are being made to help prevent SIDS. Today, I'm here to speak with a parent who has experienced SIDS firsthand. Thank you for joining us today. I know you experienced SIDS firsthand with your child. Would you be comfortable speaking about your story?
Hi, yes, thank you so much for having me today, Miss Richard. It's an honor to be on BSU News to share my story. If talking about what happened can prevent even one other family from experiencing this pain, then it's worth it. My family and I lost our son Jimmy at 3 months old. We lost him to SIDS. He was a completely healthy baby. He was always so jovial, hitting all his little milestones. He used to love, he was not a shy baby. He used to love to smile and giggle and laugh. Even at peekaboo, he was always just laughing. One night, me and my husband, we had put him to sleep like we always do. We sing a little song, do a little prayer, and we give him a kiss goodnight. And we went back to check on him. And the next morning, he was gone. There were no signs. This was and still is the most devastating moment in my life.
While we know there isn't any exact cause for SIDS, was there anything you learned or wish you had known as a parent?
I learned so much that I wish I had known earlier, because maybe that could have prevented myself or other families from losing their little ones. I wish I had known about placing babies on their backs to go to sleep, using a firm mattress without any pillows, little blankies or little snuggle bears, and keeping the baby's sleep space just simple and safe. Even room sharing, not bed sharing, can lower the risk. The more awareness we spread, the more lives we can save.
Thank you for sharing your story with me and everyone else. I was very touched and I'm sorry for your loss, but I feel that it is important to speak on SIDS and to help other mothers know about this issue.
Thank you for having me.
That concludes our segment today. Thank you for joining us at BSU News.
End of the video, we can do bloopers. I can hear you chuckling. African American. Oh my gosh, we have to restart. I'm experiencing this pain. Kyla, get out.
Welcome, Apple. Thank you for joining us today.
I kick you out of my news section report.